Right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the California Avocado Commission's annual meeting webinar. My name is Tom Bellamore. I'm president of the California Avocado Commission. We had hoped to see all of you in person by now, but as you know, the pandemic has lingered, and we decided it was best to have a virtual meeting to give you an update on our marketing activities for the past year and a glimpse forward into next season. As you all know, it's been a difficult 2 years. The effects of the pandemic have been felt throughout the economy, felt by you, the growers, by members of the trade, retail and food service trade, and certainly by consumers as well, who continue to make adjustments to the situation that we're in. We've seen just within this last year, the second year really of the pandemic, some recovery in the food service sector, but we continue to see across retail and food service continued labor shortages, supply disruptions, and all of which impact the way we market our brand and really the effectiveness of our programs. Today's program is largely about marketing, and so you'll hear from Jan DeLizer, VP of Marketing, and from members of her team. But we're going to start with Ken Melvin, who will touch on some of the issues. So before we get started, just want to bring your attention to the Q&A function that should be at the bottom of your screen. It's okay if you wish to pose a question as the presenters are speaking, and we will try to address those as we go along. So please use the Q&A function rather than the chat function if you'd like to pose a question. Also, this will be my last annual meeting. I announced to the board a few weeks ago my intent to resign my post effective January 31st of the new year. And so I would like to take this opportunity to thank you for allowing me to serve the industry these past 27 years. Ken and Jan will be those who will primarily be answering the questions, and so look to them. And I will now turn it over to Ken Melvin, my VP of Industry Affairs.
Thank you, Tom. Good morning, everyone. It is great to see all of you, albeit virtually. It's been a while, and we have missed getting out and seeing you in the meetings. Can you give me the first slide there, Dave, please? Okay, so I'm going to start with, really, it's kind of a CAC 101, a refresher for most, if not all of you, but we thought it'd be helpful if there's any new members of the family on board. As you all know, the Commission is a nonprofit public agency. We currently have approximately 1,750 commercial growers with roughly 52,000 planted acres. And the two primary functions of the Commission are to provide marketing and promotional support. We also do a lot of advocacy and support on issues involving water and labor and trade, other items that tremendously affect you as growers. We are completely funded by growers. Our average budget ranges about $15 million a year, and the season running between spring and summer. With the production running about 250 to 400 million pounds on average, there's some spikes within that range, but that's typically the range. We are governed by a 19-member board of directors built from growers throughout the different districts, and we have a lean 11-member staff. The vision of the Commission is to be recognized as the most desired avocado in the world by fostering a vibrant industry. Our mission statement is to maximize grower returns by enhancing premium brand positioning for California avocados and improving grower sustainability. Now, I want to make a quick note on the use of the word sustainability there. Obviously, in this context, it has to do with your livelihood, you being sustained as a business operation. At the very end of my comments, I'm going to talk quickly about sustainability and the tie-in with your viability, your sustainability, and the broader view on sustainability. Next slide, please. Quickly, here is the organization as it stands today. You've got Rob Gruther as our chairman, then Tom, Monica Arnett, our VP of Finance and Administration, Jan, our VP of Marketing, and then myself. And then we've got a strong team, as you can see there. Composition of the board. You know, it's been about 4 or 5 years ago, the board went through a modernization and they reduced the number of alternates from 1 for every member to 1 for every 2 members in a district. They also reduced the number of handler representatives from 4 to 2 member representatives, and from 2 handler alternates to 1 handler alternate. So currently there are 10 producer members, 2 from each district. You can see the district map there on the side of the slide. We've got 5 alternates, as I mentioned, 1 alternate for every 2 members within each district. And it's important to note that, you know, these representatives of yours are elected from all the commercial avocado producers, and you should have received a ballot recently for the current elections. And as I mentioned, there are 2 handler members with 1 handler alternate, and these are represented by the AMRIC handlers, which means to be an AMRIC handler, you had to have 1% or more of the total volume for the previous season. And the handler representatives are elected by the industry handlers. And then we do have 1 public member, and that public member is appointed by the Secretary of Food and Agriculture based on a recommendation by the CAC board. In terms of production areas, this is based on the 2020 bearing avocados by county acres. You can see San Diego County represents 31% of the total volume. You've got Ventura County at 37%. You've got Santa Barbara at 12%, Riverside at 9%, and San Luis Obispo at 7%. And then the other minor counties make up 4%. In terms of total acres, a little over 45,000 are Hass, and then almost 1,500 are Lamb Hass. And then Gem here is at 287. And I hope you all are reading what we're putting out in terms of the green sheet and in terms of the From the Grove magazine. We are definitely seeing an increase in Gem acres, and we are going to look to do more to just make you aware of what many growers believe is a really promising variety out there in terms of the volume that comes off an acre, the size curve, etc. So stay tuned. We're actually planning to host a grower meeting similar to this, specifically on the Gem variety, so that you can hear from some growers who are very bullish on Gem and ask some questions. Next slide, please. Some of our key industry goals are to maintain your competitiveness as a grower. We work hard to safeguard your economic interests. We strive to keep you informed and engaged. And then we obviously ensure organizational integrity and stability. Recently, we just conducted a grower profitability survey. You all should have received that if you are a commercial avocado grower. There were 1,743 surveys mailed. Of that, we got 174 grower responses, which is a 10% response rate. And we were pleased with that. It was a rather involved questionnaire. For many of you that filled it out, you know, so we thought a 10% response rate was good. We also saw over 4,700 acres represented in the response, which represents over 10% of the total producing acres. Just the top line on this, we saw for 2020, the gross income was over $42 million. Total expenses, a little over $40,500,000, which showed a total net margin for the industry. And then you can look at 2019 and 2018, also showing a total net margin. We are expecting to have a full report by the researcher, Dr. Dennis Tertullian, at our November CAC board meeting, which will also be online. So if you want to tune in and hear that, you're more than welcome to do that, where he will provide more of the detail behind the survey results. And then we also recently, we've been working for about 3 years on sustainability, as I mentioned earlier. And when we're talking sustainability externally facing, it really has to do with 4 areas that we've identified. Number 1, what does our industry do in terms of environmentally friendly farming practices? Equal to that, what about worker well-being? How do we take care of our workers? And then what do we do to contribute to the healthy communities that we grow in? And then finally, the economic viability. And I don't mean finally like that's an economic, I mean, that's an afterthought. It really is the key to this. If you're not viable as a grower, then there's really the other 3 prongs have nothing to do with anything, because there will be no industry to be sustained. But we created this website. It's on the consumer site. And the idea is to begin to tell the story about what you all do as great stewards of the land, of the workers you employ, of the communities that you produce in. And so we begin to tell the story. to make sure that our consumers are aware, our buyers are aware. We are receiving more and more inquiries about sustainability in our industry and what we do as an industry to ensure sustainability and improve our sustainability. So stay tuned for that. But if you get a chance, look at the commercial website, the consumer website, and you'll get an idea of what we're talking about there. And then last slide for me, we wanted to give you an up-to-date situation on the budget. The board just approved going into the 21-22 budget year. So we're leaving this current year with $9.6 million in reserves approximately. That did reduce our projected reserves by about $1 million, which was due to a shortfall of the crop of almost 55 million pounds from where we started with our 2020-21 projection. The board just approved a 1 3/4% assessment. So that's a level assessment rate going into the 21-22 year. The projection on the crop is about 300 million pounds. And we're basing a projected average price at $1.25 for an overall budget of $14.8 million. $9.5 million of that will be for marketing, $1.5 for industry affairs and production research, $3.5 for administration, and $300,000 or a little bit more in grant revenues that are coming in from the Department of Agriculture for offshore promotions that we're doing in China and in South Korea. So ultimately that will draw down the reserves at the end of next year. We project it to be drawn down by about $1.9 million with a balance of just at $7.7 million at the end of 21-22 fiscal year. And when you look at, go back real quick. So when you look at the pie chart there, you'll see marketing is 64% of the total budget, administration at 24%, and then industry affairs and production research at 10%. And now I'm going to hand off to Jan DeLizer, our VP of Marketing.
Good morning. Thank you, Tom and Ken, for the introduction and the opening. So this is the marketing org chart, and it shows the chairman of the board, Rob Gruther, President Tom Bellamore, and then our marketing committee chairman is Gary Calaroso, and then the team that represents you and all of the marketing efforts that we have. This includes the agencies as well as the retail marketing directors. Next slide. So what we're going to do now is take a look into the marketing programs and talk a little bit about the planning that we do to bring the plan together. And then you're going to notice, hopefully, as we present today, the various members of the team will be presenting, that you'll see that our approach is very targeted. We strive to achieve integration throughout everything that we do to maximize your assessment investment. And you will hear from a number of the teams that are shown here. Feel free to ask questions as we go through. I see there's a question in the Q&A now. So I'll let April respond to that. Feel free to ask questions, though, as we go through the program, and we'll do our best to respond as we get into them. So this shows the planning cycle from this particular year is for this coming year. It shows that we've got 3 main objectives. We've got an aspirational price average per pound of $1.35. We want to increase California avocado seed value, preference, and loyalty with our targets. And we want to retain or increase the high awareness of California avocado growing regions among targeted consumers. We simply can't be all things to all people given the way the industry has gone. So with that, Dave, let's go to the next slide. So our priority, Ken talked a little bit about this, to maximize grower returns by enhancing premium brand positioning for California avocados and improving grower sustainability. And then we want to be recognized as the most vibrant, desired avocado in the world by fostering a vibrant industry. And then California avocados will occupy a premium position in the marketplace. So we target, I mentioned that we're very targeted. We've got a premium Californian that is someone who has purchased an avocado in the last 6 months. They're willing to pay for high quality items. They seek out name brands versus generic brands. Consider honesty to be of utmost importance, seek adventure in their daily lives. They're environmentally conscious. And then they're knowledgeable and influential about food. And then we show the demographic breakdown there on the right. And then how the premium Californian spends their day. This shows their media usage and the fact that streaming video occupies 25% of their time, broadcast TV live is 15%, cable TV live is 12%, social media 12%, gaming 7%, AM and FM radio 6%, streaming audio is 6%, and digital is 6%, and then shows some other things that they do with premium cable, on demand, and print. And then we also target within the premium California an avocado super user. They're the heaviest consumers of avocados, and they are a key segment of the premium Californian. In order to reach the super users, we target the top quartile of avocado purchasers. And this top quartile of avocado purchasers is defined by our media departments, who have shopper data that is used to create this super user target. And the super users are layered into the media plan with select partners for both retail and brand campaigns. Here's a copy of the 2021 media flow chart, just to give you a look at how we go to market. The 2022 media schedule is in development as we speak, now that we've got board approval, and timing is always flexible based on the anticipations for the 2022 avocado harvest. So with just some examples of what we did this past year, with audio, we ran captivating ads with leading audio partners, Spotify and Pandora. On Spotify, we ran a variety of media, including sponsored session video, audio everywhere, and desktop and mobile overlays, while targeting avocado buyers and foodies, grocery buyers and green buyers. And then with Pandora, we reached environmental enthusiasts, cooking enthusiasts, and foodies through their connected car and audio ads. And we also ran outdoor advertising, and here's some examples of that. We had a really prime hand-painted mural that was located in a prime location on Venice Beach, and we also had outdoor up in San Francisco, in Orange County, and San Diego, as well as Los Angeles. And with that, I'll hand it over to Zach, who will talk us through digital, social, web, and the merch shop.
Thank you, Jan. Yeah, so on the digital side, CAC identifies partners to work with and advertise on based on where our target consumer is spending their time, as Jan mentioned, whether that's on a mobile device, a desktop device, or even television. Some examples of recent partners include Hulu, PureWow, Pop Sugar, Food 52, and YouTube. You can kind of see some examples listed here. And content really ranges from the partner. So it could be a paid media ad, it could be a banner, it could be a really high quality and premium custom content piece, like a video or an article with premium photos, really just to promote California avocado availability during the season. And next slide, please. And likewise, on social media, CAC has built and maintained really highly successful marketing communications channels through its social media presence, where we're able to really kind of talk the talk with consumers on a more personal and engaging level, again, on platforms where they're spending their time. And posts include availability content, recipes, tips, like finding California avocados, and ripening and cutting, as well as content that connects California avocados to the California lifestyle. And CAC currently maintains accounts on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, as well as LinkedIn. And if you aren't already, I'd really like to invite you all to follow or like CAC on social media. Keep up with some of the consumer-facing content as it's posted. We've got some really exciting things planned for next year that will augment our marketing communications and really engage the younger age range of our targeted consumers. And you've likely seen the campaign artwork and visuals, but we wanted to share our waves animation, if you want to go ahead and play that, Dave, to give you an idea of how our creative comes to life in today's really highly visual digital platforms. And there's nothing wrong with your audio. There's no sound on that clip. That was just an artwork piece that we worked with an artist on, and believe it or not, that is paper. So we thought it was cool and wanted to share that with you. And then on our merch shop, we're continuing on our merch shop. As you know, CAC launched it in 2020, and we're continuing to really evolve the offerings with new merch items based on what's performing well, really to activate consumers who would like to share their love of California avocados and fuse a tight connection between the California Avocado brand and product. So you can see some examples of the merch there. And last year, we talked about an upcoming relaunch of CAC's consumer website, californiaavocado.com. I'm very pleased to share that it launched on time. It has been working very, very well so far, with many updates and efficiencies already realized, with many more to come in the coming months. One of the major goals of that project was to improve load times and page load speeds. And as of July of this year, we surpassed our goals and are now outpacing some of the most competing websites like Food Network. That means like search engines are more likely to recommend californiaavocado.com for content, which results in more visits and exposure to California avocado messaging, like calls to action on when and where to purchase when California avocados are in season. And the website continues to be a resource for trade, retail, and media assets and materials as well. So if you haven't been on the website in a little bit, it's a good time to head over there and check it out. So on to Jan to consumer PR.
Thank you, Zach. So with consumer PR, the pandemic wreaked considerable havoc with the events that we had planned for this season. And so we ended up moving to virtual formats. So we did a season opener online cooking class with Chef Brian Malarkey from the San Diego area. And we were successful in getting some really key media people there, some key influencers, and some key members of the trade. We achieved more than 29 million impressions in 2021, and we're planning to kick off the season in 2022 with a similar event, different chef, probably a little bit of a different format. Then we also did a recipe contest with Modern Luxury and California Avocados. We really wanted to focus in on the Western US. So we selected Modern Luxury as our partner to work with us, and got a lot of media coverage out of this. I mean, it was like 514 million impressions, which was great. El Cajon's Mary Beth Peruznik did a California avocado and shrimp pizza, which won the contest. And these were different assets that we had that posted through the different vehicles in their different magazines that they have. And we also did a California Avocado Month drive-in theater event at Brea Mall. And we partnered with Chef E Double, who did some social media posts and also created recipes that we distributed at the event. But it was a lot of fun. We showed angels in the outfield, and it was kind of a cool way to celebrate during the pandemic, California avocados and California Avocado Month. You'll see a lot of activity in 2022 for California Avocado Month. It'll be the 10th year of our actually celebrating June as California Avocado Month. So look for some good activity in 2022. And then also next year, we're going to have a open house event for media and influencers, as well as some retail and food service representatives. We thought about the Grove tours and the outdoor nature of them. We're hopeful that we'll be able to pull that off this year and talk about, just allow the people who attend to go into the Grove. We'll have growers set up to talk about different aspects of growing avocados, harvesting avocados, and just really give them a time to spend in the Grove. And then also CAC's public relations team will promote key messages about California avocado growers and the sustainability efforts that we're seeing on behalf of the industry. With that, I'll turn it over to Laura Payden, who will talk about our Living Well brand advocates.
Thank you, Jan. So for the 2021 season, CAC partnered with 6 Living Well brand advocates, including 4 registered dietitian nutritionists. Consumer interest in maintaining their health and well-being remains high. So as such, they look to registered dietitians and health and wellness influencers for expert information, tips, tricks, and recipes to stay healthy. So to keep up with these trends and share how California avocados can be a part of a healthy eating plan, this group developed 6 consumer-friendly recipes and then several informative articles and videos for the CAC website. They also told the California avocado story of seasonality and superiority. That's a tongue twister, in television broadcast interviews, in Facebook Live events, and in content on their own social media platforms. As a result, the program continued to build awareness throughout the season for California avocados as a healthy and versatile addition to one's diet, and it garnered over 3 million impressions. Next slide, please. So for 2022, we've scaled back from 6 to 4 Living Well brand advocates, and we've got 3 familiar faces and 1 fresh face here. This panel of diverse advocates includes Liz Shaw. She's in the upper right. She's a young mom. Manuel Villacorta, our male dietitian, and Bonnie Taub-Dix, who you've seen throughout the years. She's a grandmother and a mother of adult children. And then we're happy to welcome Masha Davis. She's the upper left-hand picture to round out this impressive group. She's a registered dietitian, and she has a master's in public health and a significant social media following. We're looking forward to kicking off next season with these guys. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Stephen.
Thank you so much, Laura, and thank you all for being with us today. I've got a lot of programs to talk to you about, and they're all retail related. And the first one is the tiered account program. Now, this is a multifaceted program, and it's designed to help synchronize all of our marketing programs, increase the efficiency and effectiveness of our programs, make sure that the money we're spending is going specifically against moving California volume. And some of the things we do with this program is we monitor and we measure key metrics, including FOB pricing, retail promotions and activities, retail sales, volume, and average retail price. And I'm going to get into all those in a minute. But most importantly, it allows us to create what we call the Tier 1 account. A Tier 1 account is a retailer that is dedicated to California avocados, is loyal to us, and they put their energy behind moving California avocados at retail. And so in kind, we go out and help them do that with our marketing resources. So these Tier 1 accounts, you'll hear a lot more of them about them as we move through this presentation and even later on in the presentation from others. So let's talk about this slide. Let's talk about the alignment first of all. This is to make sure that the stores where the supply is are the stores where we put our marketing behind, so that when we're talking specifically about, hey, pick up some California avocados, the consumer can go there and pick up those California avocados. Number 2 is identification. Identification so people can easily see California avocados and they know what they're getting. Now, I know one of the questions we had was that sometimes we don't always see that. And depending on the store that you're going to, yes, that is possibly that you won't see the identification in the same way you would hope it would be. And I would suggest one of the things we can do, all of us that are on the call today, are to be the eyes and ears of the commission, to go out and tell that produce manager at that store that, hey, why don't you identify this more easily? And don't mix all of the different fruits together. They're not supposed to do that. So while we do our best to do that, I can assure you there's a lot more of you out there that are visiting stores than there are of us at the commission. So I'm asking all of you to help us with that. And finally, the goal of this program is to maximize category sales and returns for you so that you're getting the best return. And let's talk about that. Let's go to the next slide, and we're going to show you some of the measurements we do. So this is just a year-by-year comparison of how much fruit stayed in California and how much fruit left California. Well, in 2020, and that's what we're using here because 21 is just ending and we're still getting all of our data in on all this, 57% of all California fruit stayed inside the state of California. And that's the highest it had been since about 2016, 17. So this is a good thing. And you're going to see why in just a second as we go to the next slide. We're going to show you this slide, first of all, because if you recall the pandemic year when it first started, 2020, things kind of went a little bit crazy at retail and people were just buying like crazy. So we sort of expected that we would see more imported fruit coming into the state. And we did, but just a small amount, just 6% more imported fruit. There was actually 41% more California fruit in the state. So this is really a great sign because this also says that the demand is strong for California fruit in California, as well as other markets. And on the next slide, we talk about FOB. Now, before we get into FOB, I want to talk about retail pricing for a second, if I can. You know, we do our best to make sure that retail pricing is always at a premium. And a lot of retailers, it is at a premium. You buy California avocados, you're paying a premium price. But there are many different retailers out there. Some are not looking to get the most dollars. They're actually looking to have California fruit on display to get people to come into the store because they know what an attraction it is, that people are looking for California fruit. And the retail price is not necessarily directly related to the FOB price. And this is the price that you, the growers and industry members, can look at as a way of seeing the premium that is California avocados. So here we see that the FOB premium in California is 7% higher than imports in the 2020 season. And it reached as high as 29%. You can see there in that square box, that's the California season. And all the way on the left side, you see how the pricing is a little bit funny. It's a little bit compressed. And that's because that's the beginning of the pandemic and all kinds of crazy things were going on. But as the pandemic, we kind of got used to it a little bit. Things returned to normal and you see those lines starting to separate. Well, that top line is California and the bottom line is the imports. And towards the end of the season, we were getting a 29% premium over imports for California fruit. And on the next slide, because one of the things you're probably going to say is, well, okay, that was one season, but how does that look over multiple seasons? Well, here's a 4-year average of the FOB premium in California, and it is 16% higher than imports for the last 4 years. You can see every single year, all across, California commanded a higher price than imported fruits. And even outside of California, on the next slide, you're going to see here, this is the rising FOB premium versus imports. Yes, we went all the way back to 2013. And we looked at the FOB pricing in California versus imports. And over that time, the FOB price of California avocados in California is rising annually at a growth rate of approximately 5.5%, while imports is just 2.6%. So California fruit, the FOB price is rising at twice the rate of imports. And that, again, is a wonderful trend for us to follow, and we're going to continue to do that. On the next slide, then, we'll take a look at the FOB pricing for fruit that leaves California and goes out into other markets, mostly in the Western United States. And the FOB price advantage is 7% higher for the last 4 seasons. And it has reached as high in 2020 as 19% higher than imports. So this is really another good trend that we follow, and to make sure that your FOB price is always higher than the imports. That's the premium. And on the next slide, so I talked about tier 1 accounts before and how we look to these accounts because these are the accounts that support California avocados. They put energy behind it. They advertise with us, calling out California. And so every year we do one of these report cards for every single tier 1 account that we monitor. We monitor their retail price compared to their marketplace. And in this particular one, and this is an actual retailer, this is an actual retailer. We can't tell you the name of the retailer. But if you see up in the right-hand corner, there's the average retail price of small, large, and extra large. And underneath that is an index. And so what that's saying is an index, if they were on par with selling what the market is selling this fruit at, they would be at 100%. This particular retailer, the index is 207, not 100%, 207, which is twice as much. And in the middle there, the large, still higher than the market, extra large, still higher than the market. So we love to see that. So we do monitor these retail prices. Across the center section with all the bars, we see volume, units, and average retail pricing. And we take a look at that and see how that compares to the market. And then all of those grids, those little squares at the bottom, we take a look at when were the California avocados in the store, when were trade promotions run, when did social media occur, did we have digital marketing or bins, and we make sure that the timing is aligned so that we are promoting only California fruit in those particular stores. And then all across the bottom, we take a look at how did they do this year versus the prior year? How did they do in sales? How did they do in volume? And those are really important, not only to you, but it's important to the retailer as well. And we can help them with that. We show them how they compared to their overall competition in the marketplace. Next slide. Let's take a look at this now. This is retail trade advertising. And this is our way to influence senior managers at retail. And I'm not talking about store managers or produce managers. I'm talking about the people that run the organizations. How do we influence them? How do we influence the buyers that buy for a Kroger, or which includes Ralph's, is owned by Kroger. So those kinds of large retail organizations. One of the things we did here is we participate in the Masters of Merchandising. This is a magazine that goes out once a year from Produce Business, and we tell our most important stories. We give them tips about how to maximize their sales. We tell them what's available through us, through our marketing resources. We tell them how they can take advantage of our retail dietitian programs. Everything that we're doing, they can find out here. And then we do other advertising as well. Every year and it'll be this coming year as well, we run a special ad in the Snack magazine. Now, Snack magazine is a very high-end magazine that is just for the trade. And last year we did this one that had a pop-up CA. So when they opened the magazine, CA, California, popped up. So it really grabbed their attention to this particular ad. And it performed very well for us. And this is a very well-respected magazine, and lots of people read this magazine in the industry, in the retail industry. And we also do regular print ads in the Packer and the Produce News, Fresh Digest. We do lots of digital ads as well, and you can see that on the right-hand side. And altogether, these ads in this last year, over 34 million impressions in the retail trade. So really quite good. People have told us, wow, we see California avocados everywhere. So we're constantly reinforcing to retailers the importance of California avocados. And on the next slide, unfortunately, I can't show you the actual video, but there was actually a video that sat online. And every time people went to this site called And Now You Know, which is a site that's really dedicated to produce in the retail sector, our video played and talked about the California difference, and a very effective video and quite compelling. On the next slide, we also have LinkedIn. And for those of you that probably know LinkedIn, it's a B2B social network. It's a business network. And we've done this now for 2 years. So we're relatively new in terms of just being 2 years old into this LinkedIn. And we currently have, we're going on, and this is actually old already, we're going on towards 1,000 followers. And just in the last year, we've picked up 422 new followers and generated almost 500,000 impressions. And we have a click-through rate of about 2.5%. Now, I know what you're probably saying, wow, that doesn't seem like very much, but that's because what I said. But the average click-through rate is about 0.5%, up to maybe 1%. So we're doing quite well. Our engagement is quite successful here. And it's only going to get stronger and better as we move forward, because as we get new followers, they tell other people, and then they bring in new followers. So we're excited to see this happen. On the next slide, I want to talk about trade public relations. And this sort of goes hand in hand, right? Because if you pick up a magazine or a newspaper that's related to the trade, and you read an article about California avocados, you are much more likely to see the ad, to notice the ad. So we're getting this kind of interest through this retail trade impressions. And this last year, we had 8.5 million trade impressions, quite strong. And you can just take a look at some here. We talk about California Avocado Month. We tell them about when the season's starting, about our advertising programs and promotions. And throughout every trade public relations piece, our key messages, our brand messaging is all intertwined in all of that. And then on the next slide, you'll see that it even goes beyond this, because we provide crop updates and CAC board information. These are all very important. When Angela recently got her promotion, we talk about that, because people are interested in these human interest stories, especially when they're related to the commission. And the next slide. Oh, well, now this is some data and research, because we're also doing retail research to make sure that everything we're doing is fact-based, that we're not just guessing, we're not just using our gut or somebody saying something to us like, you ought to try this. We're using research and data to decide how we move forward on your behalf. So we did a state of the avocado category study, and this was a multi-year review of California and the Western regions where California fruit is sold. We took a look at lift during the California season. And one of the things we found is that during the California season, the retailer actually sells about $5 million more per week than during the non-season. So think of how important that is for a retailer. You go in, you say, in retail, you're going to get this kind of lift. Now, that's not per retailer. That's the lift in these regions, $5 million more per week. So incremental sales we look at. We took a look at bagged and organic avocado sales, per capita purchases by individual market. And then we looked at each trend in every individual market, whether they're large markets like Los Angeles or small markets like Boise. We've also done some other research, and you can see that here. We did a California promotional retail study. And this is, what are the benefits of promoting California versus just promoting a generic avocado? And you can see on those charts on the right-hand side that when a retailer promoted California versus just avocado, they had a 39% greater average weekly dollar sale. That's right. Almost 100,000 more dollars per week were sold when they used California versus just avocado. And lots of other things were found, lots of other really interesting and important things were found here that we share with our retailers so that they understand the importance of carrying California avocados as well. And on the next slide, we just completed this avocado ripeness study. And we know that 20 years ago, everybody that we talked to about ripeness, we said, what is ripe? And they said, well, it was ripe for tonight. And that was the program at the time. We want to have avocados that are ripe today. Well, things have changed. Now people are saying, oh, yes, I want stuff that's ripe today. I want fruit that's ripe today. But I also want fruit that will be ripe in 3 to 5 more days, because I'm buying for the week. I'm not just buying for tonight. And this study has lots of great things that we're sharing with, again, the retailer to help them understand the importance of California and the importance of ripeness and how they should display and merchandise California fruit. We are also working, or just being finished, is the California Avocado Tracking Study. Now, this is a study that's done on a regular basis. And we actually go out to 1,500 avocado shoppers in the US with an extra large sampling of those people in California in the West. And we ask them about California avocados. Do they look for the label? What does California mean to them? And many, many others. It's a very, very large study. And they fielded this already. And they're working currently on the results to put that together. And we expect the results in the end of next month. So that's going to be really exciting to see. This is a great study, and it helps us track long-term. How are we doing over time? And I think you'll see that's sort of a theme. We're constantly tracking, we're constantly measuring, and we're not just doing it for this year or last year. We're doing it over time so we can see the trends that are evolving into the future. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Carolyn Becker, who's the RMD, and she's going to talk more about tiered accounts. Thank you.
Thank you. So I will lead off the retail merchandising and promotion segment, followed by Dave Anderson. 2021 continued with a different promotion climate at retail. From the pandemic, we continue to see retail offices partially closed, people still working from home, and the onset of digital advertising to consumers as the #1 way to communicate sale items and product information. Online ordering from the pandemic has maintained at nearly 30% of buying groceries. With the large increases in sales during the pandemic, sales and volume lift this year were tougher to come by for many retailers. However, California avocado promotions were successful still, though at times only 4 to 10% over the pandemic numbers. We are proud to represent the growers of California avocados to retailers and consumers. Our merchandising goal is to maintain relationships with retailers that allow for promotion support that meet the needs of our growers and the crop. In the continued demand and increasing category, California avocados are revered for their quality, consistent marketing and shipping, and the importance of local grown. We ask for branding of California and season-long support in procurement. So I'm going to lead off this marketing program presentation to show you this resource here on the screen. It shows the California difference over other producing regions. It is also our segue to talk with retailers about their specific sales and volume performance over the previous year. We dive down into sizes, bags, number of promotions, all things that help them decide how to best sell more California avocados. So now I'll share with you a few examples of promotions in the West. Bristol Farms, Nugget Markets, Mi Tierra, Supermercado, these are all what we call some of our specialty retailers. And we find them at most times to be some of our most loyal, to start at the very minute that you, as growers, are harvesting the crop, and to stay with us to the very end. On the left-hand side, we run a Passport Savings, which is now a digital savings coupon that's online. And we use our consumer creative from our agencies to run this ad with the retailer. Nugget Market is up in Northern California, as well as Supermercado Mi Tierra is a Hispanic dominant chain that is extremely loyal to us and continues to promote heavy all throughout the season. Gelson's, Ralph's, Molly Stone's, New Seasons, Lazy Acres, again, all retailers that give us first of season displays and promotions. We do a tremendous amount of display contests that overlay with different types of social media support for fully integrated campaigns. And this year, it's nice to see that Ralph's came in very early in the season as one of Kroger's largest divisions to support California. Molly Stone's is our Northern California retailer out of the San Francisco area. They do an excellent job to promote all different types, and you can see the huge displays that they devote using CAC's specialty display bins that we produce, as well as custom signage as well. And then this is again, Supermercado, where I was talking about that again, they began back in March with Easter ads and then ran consistently 2 to 3 ads per summer, varying the products from either a large avocado to a small avocado to bag avocados. So they're covering full stream of what you have to bring from the crop. Holiday Market is also in the Northern California area. And this is one of our largest gem promotions that we ran this year. During May, they ran a sales contest with the custom signage and displays from CAC. And the increase over their regular sales in May was very high, that they attribute to trying to educate consumers about the new gem variety itself. Natural Grocers is a chain in Colorado, and they operate stores all throughout the West and the Northwest region. So they did a meal deal promotion that's in a flyer, as well as signage in stores. And there was a digital coupon that by scanning a sign in the stores, it gave them to a great value of 99 cents there you see in the bottom on California avocados. So you can see with that, our promotions do stretch well outside of the California and West regions. Albertsons, Vons, and Pavilions, one of the largest chains in the Southern California market, did a nicely integrated program that gave us a $1 off coupon on bagged avocados, and then as well a display contest that did $2.5 million in sales during that 1 week. It was only a 3.7% increase, but again, we're looking at that over their pandemic numbers last year, which were at over 40%. Our national retail local promotion is one from Sprouts Farmers Markets. Sprouts is a national chain that has stores across the US. However, they do stay loyal to California Avocados with all of their California stores, as well as Arizona and into Colorado. So we ran a promotion with them that did custom signage that shows, as you can see here, we're using the California avocado materials on the displays in stores. They ran a specialty ad for Hass avocados, and then they ran a feature ad showing all the growing regions of where California avocados come from. This is great branding for California. Save Mart and Lucky Supermarkets are up in the Central Valley and San Joaquin area of California. So this year we ran a fully integrated promotion to where we did a sales contest within their stores on the materials. And then as you can see there, we also did a billboard ad that announced their new store opening up in Pleasanton, California. And that ad was utilizing, again, our consumer creative that's created by our agencies. On top of that, we ran a co-promotion with the California Milk Advisory Board that we sponsored recipes. We had a special online web page for it, and we offered $2 off between the cheese and a bag of avocados. Other retail promotions you can see here: Safeway in NorCal, Stater Brothers Markets in the Southern California location, all of them running consistent ads, front page ads, and all offering branding for local grown California avocados. US Foods and Chef Store is a Pacific Northwest food service retailer. So they market in large volumes. So they, as you can see here, they're promoting 70 count in a $32.95 sales season, but this is full flat of avocados. And then on top of that, they ran bagged avocados also during the month of July and hosted a contest for stores. PCC Community Markets is also in the Pacific Northwest, giving great reach to California avocados. So PCC is a specialty retailer, is very loyal, and is predominantly an organic avocado retailer. They came to us wanting to reach out to their customers through a special network in what they call a member-only event. So we created a virtual grove tour with one of our growers, Jessica Hunter. PCC asked to work with a grower that actually supplies fruit in their stores to their customers. So this again was a fully integrated promotion. Their members can sign up to view the video and to participate, ask questions of the growers, and learn more about how California avocados are grown. Then on top of that, we did a video from one of their stores on how they merchandise California avocados and the best way to choose your avocados for the ripeness that you need either today or in the next few days. On top of that, we had recipe cards and signs in the stores that you can see here to get in the groove or the grove with organic California grown avocados. On top of that, we had a great integrated social media program that PJPR will spotlight here shortly for us. So they did an excellent job to support us, and all throughout that, they were advertising and staying loyal to California avocados. So now I'll turn it over to Dave Anderson, and he'll talk more about our national and central promotions.
Thank you, Carolyn. I appreciate it. We'll talk about some national accounts here, as well as some regional accounts that we call on the further east of the Rockies. Starting with Costco. This year at Costco, there was somewhat of a historical magazine insertion that's been done over the years with the farm to table recipe insertion. This is done in concert with select handlers. CAC serves as the intermediary here to put together the content that you see. The recipe works on the ingredients, gets the sign off from USDA, and then lots of credit here goes to Angela Fraser, who really serves as point person for this beautiful recipe insertion. In addition to that, at Costco, where their volume is so significant, every year is a challenge for us to date nothing but California avocado volume to certain depots, which is Costco speak for distribution center. It was really advantageous for us this year, given a new opening of a depot in Aurora, Colorado. It allows us to work a California only promotional campaign with $1 off bag offering. This occurred in May. What's significant here is we measured the performance of the buildings, clubs that were supplied out of Aurora, which showed a 23% better performance versus the other depots serviced with a mixed supply of avocados at Costco. In addition to that, we overlay that with social media videos, which is a tremendous value at Costco with over 4 million views. Moving over to Kroger Corporate, we administrate the actual divisional coupon program out of Cincinnati. In this particular case, we began the season in June and July offerings. This was Ralph's, Fred Meyer, Fry's, and Smith's. So this is up and down the West Coast, including, of course, Smith's in Utah. What's important here is that this was the first year that we went, number one, with bags, which is the direct result of the effects of COVID, right? Where bags have become a much more significant part of the avocado category, but perhaps equally as important, if not more so, is that you see a branded presence now, both on the coupon, which is offered digitally on the various websites that you see on the right-hand side, but a very, very branded California-centric presence as well. Moving over to Walmart, 721 Western locations. The sophistication of the retailers that we now work with is pretty amazing in regards to their ability to very specifically target consumers based on criteria that we provide them. So we can serve ads to Walmart shoppers on a geo-targeted basis around stores that are handling our fruit. In this particular case, it's a spotlight video, which is a usage video. There is also one of our specific California, we call them, the place videos, which show, as you can see in the lower left-hand side there, which is a shot of one of the 3 videos that we had on the website. And then that was followed by an influencer campaign. And what's really interesting here is these are influencers we choose that are actually in the Walmart network. Lots of kudos and credit goes to Zach Benedict here, who really helped manage this and work with the Walmart marketing team on making this happen. Moving over to Sam's, this was a tactic for us to begin earlier than we typically begin with Sam's Club. So you can see in this particular case, we started in April, which was a really nice lead in to Cinco de Mayo. They call these digital demos. So as many of you may recall, as we were in April of this past year, the traditional demo as might be normally done in a club store with food, serving, souffle cups, forks, knives, was not allowed. And this was an opportunity for us to display product aggressively, message aggressively, at point of sale, using QR codes, which linked to a video that Sam's produced, which talked about the seasonality of our fruit, the get it while you can get it message, which really brings out a sense of urgency in shoppers and Sam's Club members in this particular case. But I think more importantly, really pointed out that not only were we available, but more importantly, we were available in the most clubs we had been available in the time that I've worked with CAC, which is approaching 20 years. So we were in every club west of the Mississippi for that last week of April. We'll go over to some of the regional supporters here. In this particular case, this is Schnucks Markets, which operates out of St. Louis, Missouri. Similar theme here to the Kroger divisions. We worked with bag promotion where we could get very specific to California messaging. There was 3 different offers throughout the summer, one of which was a specific July 4th boosted content online website offer. The nice thing about these is we can vary the value. We ran $1.50 at the end of the summer. We control when these drop. We have all the analytics. We can measure performance on, and as you can see, the handlers have the opportunity to participate with their branded bags. And I'll close with Fresh Market. Fresh Market operates all the way from Florida north into 12 different stores, 159 different locations. As Carolyn had mentioned, this fits in this specialty retailer niche type of operation, very, very upscale. They will take the first harvest and they will stay till the very last, the last lug is pulled off. I mean, they are incredibly loyal. And you can see a number of different tactics that were worked here, whether it's a magazine ad on the left-hand side, very aggressive buy one, get one free pricing in the middle of the season. In terms of digital advertising, they go so far as to even support reads, alternative varieties in the season when available and at the peak of flavor as well. I'll close with pointing out that the challenges and the opportunities are one and the same as we get into better crops, better availability, and the challenges with freight as we go further east. We hope for some relief with more fruit and some relief on the freight side for retailers like H-E-B and Publix as we pivot towards 2022 very, very quickly. With that, I'm going to go ahead now and hand it back off to Laura Payton.
Thanks, Dave. So diving into retail communications. This program targets marketing and social media managers, dietitians, and cooking school managers at key retailers. One way we do that is with an electronic California Avocado Retail Resource Guide. We developed this as a conversation starter, and we packed it with fresh content and ready-to-use assets for retailers. We then presented it at retail meetings with Carolyn and Dave and Zach to make it so that it was at their fingertips, at the retailer's fingertips, and then they could easily use it to build social media and customized programs that would serve both them and CAC. And then in total, these programs garnered 3.3 million impressions during the 2021 season. Next slide. So post meetings, where did those impressions come from? This slide shows a sampling of some of the work done with CAC's retail partners on their various social media platforms. We worked to produce assets and contests that promoted tips and usage ideas and recipes, throughout the season, leveraging some of the different themes like how to grill an avocado or how to use it making ice cream or in California Avocado Month. Next slide. We also planned and implemented customized multi-pronged programs to align with RMD efforts at top tier retailers. So we have a quick 3 examples here. At Molly Stone's, we ran a Meet the Farmer campaign that had multiple legs, and it included several contests and social media elements and was featured in their email newsletter and on their website. For PCC Community Markets, we layered a virtual cooking class called Cooking with California Avocados and a social media campaign on top of the multifaceted program that Carolyn mentioned earlier. And then last here, we have Hy-Vee. We implemented a month-long promotion that focused on California avocados as an important addition to the diets of women and children. So this retailer supported the promotion with 500 social media posts, 30 cooking classes and store tours, and 5 TV segments, all featuring California avocados. All 3 of these were very successful promotions. And with that, I will close with that we're looking forward to getting back in front of our key accounts in 2022.
All right, thank you, Laura. Similar to our broader consumer paid social initiatives, we meet with retailer marketing departments to coordinate and run custom ads on the California Avocado Commission social media channels that create awareness for California grown avocados at our partner retailer locations. Additionally, we work with these partner retailers to run custom promotions on their social media channels as well, providing content and assets to help them promote California avocados to their followers for broader exposure of California avocado availability messaging when we're in season. And a very well received portion of CAC's online retail advertising initiatives are including retailers in CAC's interactive media banners and pre-roll advertisements. The media banners and pre-roll videos run on popular channels, again, where the California avocado consumer is spending their time, like foodnetwork.com, TLC, and GQ. You can see some of the examples here of the ads which offer directions to the mile for getting to a partner retailer store to purchase California avocados. These ads combine to produce over 12 million impressions during the California avocado season. So those are 12 million different times California avocados are promoted at a retailer location through these ads. Next, we'll move on to Kim for food service.
Thank you, Zach. So food service refers to eating purchased foods away from home, which includes independent and chain restaurants, foods that students would get at the colleges and universities, either at the retail outlets or at the dorm, businesses, cafeterias, and healthcare retail outlets. So not patient feedings, but if you're a visitor to a hospital or a clinic. So our program is designed to influence the influencers, and we've identified food service influencers as media outlets and restaurant chains, culinary, marketing, and purchasing personnel. So on our macro program, it's all about creating and maintaining awareness and preference for California avocados to the food service arena. We use our traditional media to showcase innovative dishes with California avocados in print and digital ads, and in our PR operator leads. Our print ads, as you can see here, are stunning and approachable, and we're designed to inspire chain operators to think how they can add California avocados to any dish on their menu. And in this way, they're adding the California twist, or the Californizing a dish is what we like to say. The independent operators will appreciate the versatility of fresh California avocados in the execution that we provide, as well as the wow factor that the beautiful fruit brings to any dish. In our next slide, we're also talking about using non-traditional media. And in this case, this past year, we worked with a publication and worked with their database to release an electronic newsletter that's been customized based on our messaging, offering the chefs and the restaurants in the West Coast our services. We offer training materials. We provide techniques for back-of-the-house information. And we also give them menu ideation ideas as well. On average, our newsletters have been performing above the publication's average click-through rate. Another non-traditional media that we've introduced this year is doing a California Avocado Academy featuring Jason Hernandez, our chef consultant. We launched 18 two-minute videos that ran on his social media page, and we are establishing Jason as the social media influencer in the food service arena. To date, we know that his LinkedIn page has been very active and has the most likes and views that we've been seeing so far. So it's a very strong B2B outreach on our end. Topics that we've included, sorry, Dave, topics that we included have been very timely. We've been talking about to-go dishes and delivery because so many restaurants have shifted to that. And we're also talking about global cuisines and how they can bring the global flavors, but still with a familiar ingredient or flavor. In our targeted promotions and programs, we're out there talking to chain operators, and we're meeting them at events. Since the start of the fiscal year, we attended 2 virtual events presenting live and both a taped demo video. Since June, we've attended 4 on-site or in-person conferences, which enabled us to bring the food to the operators and have them taste what we're talking about. While at the events, we talk about you, the growers, and your passion behind every fruit. We discuss our support when chains add California avocados to the menu. Many chains are looking for ideas, and sometimes just a nudge to let their creativity go is all that they need. So we provide what we call a menu ideation session, walking chefs through about 8 different concepts designed specifically for their chain menu profile. On the next slide, so this is when we're doing our menu ideation. We've done it both virtual and on-site. On-site is so much easier because we can sample the dishes with them and talk to them about what they're tasting. And we sort of build on each other's ideas and inspiration. And it's a very collaborative session that we have on your behalf. So now when chains aren't quite ready for a menu ideation session, but they are still interested to learn about new ideas and how to include California avocados on the menu, we are offering our flavor pairing spice kit, which is on the next slide. So this flavor pairing spice kit walks a chef culinary R&D through the process of tasting our fruit, then tasting the spice, and then tasting the fruit with our spice. And we do this with multiple, sometimes we build it with different spices together. And then at the end, we then show them a dish that they can build with the different spices. But the whole premise here is, how do you use California avocados as a building block and a starting form to build creative and enticing dishes for the menu? So this program, we are educating and inspiring the restaurateurs. So why do we do all this? Because on the next slide, we show that ultimately our goal is to get California avocados on the purchasing cycle and on the menu at chains. When a chain is purchasing our fruit during our season, we want the chain to tell their customers that they are serving California avocados, because our recent research has shown that consumers want to know where their avocados are being sourced, and they want US grown over imports. This slide here shows the chain promotions that we've done in 2021. You may be very familiar with most of these chains, as the majority of them are based in California, and a lot are based in the Southern Cal area. So on the next slide, getting to these 13 chains, we had to talk to about 112 chains in the beginning. About 2/3 responded to our outreach. And of that 2/3, we were then able to convert 13 to do a chain promotion with us. The good news is this year we had a very high repeat customer or chain-based program. And we're hoping with the enthusiasm that we saw this year, that of the 13 chains, we will continue to carry the majority of them over into next year's promotion to also do another promotion with us. Chains were incentivized to partner with us. And as you will see on the next slide, we moved our incentive to support a digital format. And the reason we did this is we saw that the traffic pattern into a restaurant has diminished, and more of the restaurant's customers are going to the website or taking a look at the menu as well as ordering on the menu. So we are now supporting a stronger digital activation. As a recap to our food service activities, this last slide will help you to understand that all of the activities we do on your behalf, menu promotions, menu ideations, going to events, it's all to get California avocados on the menu in our season. So we hope this simple slide here sort of wraps up what our food service program is all about. And I want to thank you again for your support and for your wonderful fruit. I'm going to turn it over to Dave for the export program.
Thank you, Kim. Using market access program grant funds obtained through the California Agricultural Export Council, we, CAC, or the commission, ran its 3rd year of export promotions in South Korea, working with INR PR Consulting Group as our in-country representatives. The first promotion was a virtual cooking class featuring celebrity food stylist Bo Yoon Lee, and where she communicated key California avocado messaging and demonstrated 2 recipes, a spicy grilled chicken with California avocados and a California avocado sauce. This was featured on her YouTube channel with nearly 2,000 viewers, and by the end of the month, there were well over 11,000 views. On May 13th, an in-person cooking class was held by celebrity chef Youngbin Kim, but due to the pandemic, the number of attendees needed to be cut in half, so there were 16 participants, of which included mothers and food influencers. She informed the attendees about health benefits and premium quality of California avocados, and also demonstrated 3 recipes: a California avocado brownie, a chicken and California avocado quesadilla, and a California avocado smoothie. Following the in-person event, she also held a class on Instagram Live, which had over 1,700 views by the following day. At retail, because of the pandemic, they couldn't do in-store samplings as planned, but the retailers Home Plus and eMart agreed to doing verbal demos where a person set up a station next to their California avocado displays and engaged with the consumers, and communicated California avocado messaging, and also handed out a leaflet with California avocado information, as well as a California avocado cutter for those who purchased our fruit. We also obtained market access program funds for promotions in China. Ken manages this program and works with Ag Food Consulting as our in-country representation. On May 9th, they launched a California Avocado social media account on the Redbook platform over there. Also worked with celebrity chef to feature California avocados in Chinese cuisine. And to build awareness of California avocados, they also engage with influencers whose focus is on cooking, healthy living, fitness, and parenting. We anticipate securing grant funds again for promotions in these 2 markets next year. And I'll turn it over back to Jan.
All right, well, we took questions throughout, but if there are any additional questions or comments, feel free to bring them on. All right, so we'll follow up with a couple of you who asked about spice kits, and if there's any additional information that anyone would like on the marketing programs or the commission in itself, just please let us know. Ken, do you have anything you'd like to close with?
No, I was actually getting ready to reply to a question about planting new trees.
Excellent.
I'm not sure who typed that question, but.
It was an anonymous grower.
Yeah, my suggestion was going to be to call the office and leave your number, and then we'll get back in touch with you.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining us today for this virtual annual meeting. We look forward to seeing you next year live. Tom, thank you for 27 years. It's not over. It's not over at all. But thank you so much for serving the industry as you have these past 25 or 27 years. Thank you very much.